This is my first video, and it's titled Stop Being a Fan of Other People. And the idea the idea just came to me last time when I was sitting on the toilet. And it was because just out of nowhere, I started thinking about the conversation I had off a dating app with this one chick. So that's where the idea about just being a fan of something or somebody outside of yourself, which is so common these days, right? Well, what happened was I recorded it. It was me recorded myself on another phone of mine, and it was an older phone, so it died on me the other day. So I was like, man, fuck it, just gonna just use my main phone. And for those of you that are always just coming up with an excuse, hey, that's me. I'm the master procrastinator. Always got a fucking excuse as to why I can't do or start what, So just using my phone and forget about editing. Dude, that's just gonna be another obstacle. Then I'm gonna go through all this like mental masturbation, telling myself I gotta fucking learn how to edit videos before I share any type of info with anybody. So fuck that, yo. Just bear with me, If you don't have the patience, just leave. And please, if you're gonna make some type of stupid ass fucking comment complaining, just you can fuck off. I really don't care, dude. Because shit, man. I grew up in New York City. So yeah, by blood I'm Korean, but came here when I was 5, so I was there most of my life. So I look Korean, but the essence of me, like, I'm more American. And I'm starting to realize, especially in my later years, it's as an American, you should be so proud of the American heritage and the history and work. And the reason why I'm saying it is, all of society all around the world is fucking falling apart. It's just absolute chaos. There's no order, nobody, and a lot of that has to do with the lack of, just somewhere along the line, dude, it's always been about the fight between good and evil. And somewhere along the line, the people that are on, doing everything they can to promote evil in this world, they're like, oh, best way to sow the seed of chaos is to let's get rid of God. No more fucking religion or God. So as soon as you get rid of God, because He is the ultimate law, You know, everybody's supposed to listen to him. Once you get rid of God, then every individual could start making up their own rules. And you don't have you so basically you don't have anybody that you answer to. You do whatever the fuck you want. And that's why we're in this fucking mess right now, especially in the Western world, like like the US. But I I go off on tangents a lot. And there's a reason. I'll probably get into it in another video. But getting back to the title of this video is stop being a fan of other people. And what happened was I was talking to this chick, just texting on the dating app, and I mentioned something about where I'm from and that I'm Korean, so I think she was Chinese. And all of a sudden she just messages me saying like, oh, I'm a big fan of so and so, and I think she mentioned something about some Korean actor or K-pop star. And immediately I'm like, who the hell is that? Like, and the first thing that came to mind is, you're a fan of so and so. Oh man, we're all like walking zombies, But anyways, I immediately replied back to her, and I said this. I was like, let me share a secret with you. The only persons that you need to be a fan of is God, your family, and then yourself, in that order. That's it. And I also said everything else is a effing waste of your time and energy. And if you're smart, you'll take my advice and run with it. Or not. It's up to you, man. And that conversation got me thinking that we don't grow up and live in a bubble. Everything that we do, it's just we're an individual part of a society, and everybody has an effect on everybody else. And I'm sure it has to do with capitalism and making money. But one thing that I never understood, what's up with being like the sports industry? Like, does that shit fucking put food on the table? If you're the actual athlete, I could totally understand. They're making crazy money. Anything that they do has no bearing on your life. So, and also it just has to do with, it's just due to my nature. I just don't have the patience to sit there and watch some other dude play a sport. Like, you would have to pay me money to sit there. Fucking, there's no way I'm paying fucking money. Get the fuck out of here. And this is why, this is like one of the ways where the general public, the average person breeds weakness, like weak men. When you can't be honest and just simply express like, oh, like I don't like that or I do like that, but it's just so unpopular to, it's just so much easier being a spectator. It's, it's not for me. And I think it's definitely related to what's going on right now, especially in the United States with, it's because of the advances in technology, primarily the internet, and advances in, the modern PC. I'm older than I look. I'm Gen X. I was born in the late 70s. So that makes me fucking old. I'm in my late 40s. So I started high school in the early 90s, okay? And even all through college, high school, college, we just start getting our personal computers. There were no smartphones. We actually had beepers. And so obviously there were less distractions, it was more innocent times. We didn't have rampant promiscuity like we do today. There was no social media. There wasn't this big problem with digitizing our human sexuality through pornography. You had to work to look at naked women back then, like the older guys remember the Playboy and Penthouse magazines, like there's just so much evil and bad things that are normalized and justified. OnlyFans? Are you kidding me? Like I hear stories of guys throwing away thousands of dollars, if not more, giving money away to like some fucking girl that he sees through the fucking computer monitor. And all the evil forces in life. You don't see what they're doing. One of the most powerful forces in life is the man. Everything great in our history was accomplished on the backs of great, courageous, intelligent men. Courage, I think, is more important than intelligence, man. Yeah. And one of the main, like, kryptonites, sex is definitely a kryptonite for so many men, and that's how they're weakening so many men in our society. Fuck, man. You know, our founding fathers, they're rolling around in their fucking graves. You know? They're not even pissed. They're past that. They're past being angry. They look at the current state of affairs, and I mean, if I was in their shoes, it would just be disgust. Absolute disgust. I'd be just so sick to the point where I would feel like throwing up over everybody. America is the best country. You know, best doesn't mean the happiest. You know, like supposedly Norway and those other countries are like they're one of the happiest countries. Or America, from the very beginning, you think back to the founding fathers. What did they do? They stood up against evil, oppression from the fucking Brits. You know, America, we're the original Superman. You know, I mentioned that it's just always about the fight between good versus evil. And you know, if you're like wondering like what it means to be a man or masculine, or you know, if you have no clue, just try to just stand for something good. Stand against evil. That's what a fucking man does. Sometimes, um, and any society where collectively they're trying to tear down the population of men, dude, that society is on its way down. So before it's too late, I mean, I think men need to kind of band together and just kind of support each other and uplift each other. Yeah, love. I'm sorry if I didn't mention it. It all comes from God. You know how God is love. You know, you want to stand against evil, it's just stand for love. And love is not sex, okay? Love is about wanting the best in another person. You don't find it kind of weird where it's not just young men? You know, I actually looked it up on ChatGPT, and the last year where they had the final numbers for the annual suicide in the United States was like in 2023, and the total number of men killing themselves in 1 year is at about 500,000. Is it? Yeah, 500,000? I don't know. I might be off by yourself. It's like 500 or 50,000. Anyways, but nobody, who gives a fuck? Yeah, it's bros before hoes to the end of time. Always been that way. And somewhere along the line, we just they're modern, just kind of, that's what they're doing through social media, brainwashing your average person. You don't see it. I live in New York City. I've been here all my life, and so like a everyday part of your average New Yorker is the buses and the subways, especially when you're young going to school. And these days, when you're on the train or the bus, it's not just the young kids, okay? It just gives you an idea of like the average person is so gullible and easily controlled. I mean, it's just like even my parents' generation. I mean, it's just like every person. You rarely see a person not staring into their fucking smartphone. It's far greater than a sad situation. It's our society is falling apart at the seams. And what the fuck are they talking about? You hear it so often on YouTube. It's about guys complaining about they can't get ass or they can't get a girlfriend or stop. Who the fuck cares? Stop worrying about trying to like please a fucking female or get a girlfriend. It's just, there's far greater problems going on right now. And I think men as a collective need to kind of get together and just, you ever heard of that saying, be a part of the solution, not the fucking problem. So yeah, I do that often. I go off on tangents, but yeah. So getting back to the main idea, stop worrying about another human being. Dude, I'm almost 50, so I'm starting to realize like shit, my life is already half over. I don't have that much time left. And I have my reasons, but I'm not, currently I don't have any kids, nor do I have any desire to bring a child into this fucked up world right now. No way, dude. Give it about another 10 years, dude. You know what's gonna be the norm? Every dude is gonna have a fucking AI female robot. Man, I'm cool with that, yo. As long as she could cook me food, I'll be happy. let's just begin having some serious conversations and kind of cut down on talking about trivial bullshit. Like, like the board game. We lead so many lives are just like the board game, Trivial Pursuits.